No one around her has any idea that she possesses an incredible power that allows her to control massive monsters.
What is he doing?
It's dancing.
Is dancing like...
In South Korea, at a local park, a little girl is searching for her lost favorite doll. Her mom suggests giving up and buying a new one, but the girl refuses. Just a moment later, she finds the toy. Her joy, however, quickly turns to terror as a massive monster suddenly appears, heading straight toward them. 25 years later, a young woman, tipsy and unsteady, stumbles into her apartment. Her boyfriend, Tim, is already waiting for her, his frustration evident as he watches her struggle to stay upright. He's had enough. This late-night pattern has become all too familiar. Every time she returns home hungover, it sparks the same argument. For the past year, Gloria has been sitting at home, drinking, and watching TV, claiming that her unemployment doesn't bother her. But Tim is done. He still loves her, but he can't see a future with someone who's stuck in this cycle. Tim has already packed her belongings and coldly tells her it would be best for both of them if she's gone by the time he returns. With those final words, he walks out without looking back. Stunned, Gloria reaches out, desperate to stop him, but he's already beyond hearing her. She hurries to the bedroom, only to find her bags packed and waiting. Meanwhile, her friends, sitting in a car outside, watch Tim leave. The moment he's gone, they head up to Gloria's apartment to start a party. Gloria sits at the table, stunned and lost in her thoughts, but the loud group doesn't seem to notice. Gloria leaves the city and moves to a small town. She moves into an empty house with no furniture. After dragging her suitcases inside, she lays down on the floor to sleep. The next morning, aching all over from sleeping on the hard floor, she heads out to a store. On her way back, a car passes her, then suddenly stops and reverses. Inside is Oscar, an old friend. He's surprised to see her and asks what she's doing there. Gloria lies, saying she's visiting her parents' house for a vacation. Oscar offers to catch up over drinks, and she gladly agrees. As they talk, Gloria learns that Oscar's father has passed away, leaving him the family bar. He invites her there, and she notices how much the place has changed. It's more stylish now but smaller. Oscar explains that he had to close half the bar because of a lack of customers. Later, some of Oscar's friends join them, and he introduces Gloria to the group. The night continues even after the bar closes, and Oscar shows her the unused half of the space. Gloria is amazed by how beautiful it is. As the group settles down, Gloria finds herself sitting alone with one of Oscar's friends, Joel. She starts flirting with him, but when Joel misinterprets her signals and leans in for a kiss, Gloria pulls away. Oscar sees the entire interaction and explodes with rage. Gloria walks home, passing through a playground on the way. Once at home, she starts unpacking an inflatable mattress she bought, but she's had so much to drink that she falls asleep right in the middle of it. She dreams a strange dream about her younger self, but it's interrupted by her phone ringing. It's her sister, who's completely shaken. A giant monster has appeared in Seoul again. Gloria hangs up and immediately checks the news on her laptop. What she sees leaves her in shock. She calls Tim, but he's already aware. The monster appeared 9 hours earlier. Tim asks what she's been up to all day and suggests she needs professional help if she's been drinking again. Annoyed by his lecturing, Gloria hangs up. That evening, Gloria is back at the bar, drinking. She and Oscar watch the news about the monster in South Korea. After a while, Gloria leaves the bar and ends up at the playground again. Sitting on a bench, she closes her eyes and falls asleep. She dreams about her childhood once more, but the sound of kids heading to school wakes her up. Gloria calls Tim again to talk, but he assumes she's drunk and, claiming he's busy, suggests they talk another time. Back home, Gloria finally inflates her mattress, but the steady hum of the pump lulls her back to sleep. She's jolted awake by the sound of the doorbell. Rubbing her stiff neck, she drags herself to the door and opens it to find Oscar standing there, carrying a large TV. He offers it to her, saying it's to help her out. As he begins setting it up, Gloria, still groggy, asks about the monster. Oscar's face grows serious as he explains that it's reappeared. It always shows up at exactly 8:05, and only in Seoul. In fact, its first appearance was 25 years ago, at the same time. Gloria is stunned by the coincidence, her mind racing to make sense of it. As they continue talking, Oscar realizes Gloria doesn't remember anything from the previous night. He reminds her that she'd vented about her lack of money, her breakup, and losing her job. He then offers her a position as a waitress at his bar. After some thought, Gloria agrees. Grateful, she hugs Oscar but then notices a video of the monster on TV. It's holding one hand to its face and scratching its head with the other, exactly the same way she just did. That evening, after work, Gloria watches every video of the monster she can find. Something about it nags at her. Retracing her steps, she realizes she might somehow be connected to it. Using a map, she pinpoints the playground as the link. Spending the day deep in thought, she decides to test her theory. The next morning, precisely at 8:05, she goes to the playground. Standing in a specific spot, she moves her arms in a sequence, then sprints home to watch the news. On TV, she sees the monster mirroring her every move. Stunned, Gloria collapses onto her mattress and falls asleep. When she wakes up, her entire body aches, and the mattress is completely deflated. After freshening up, she video calls Tim to share that she's now working as a waitress at the bar. Their conversation is cut short by the doorbell. It's Oscar again, this time bringing her a couch. Completely forgetting about her call with Tim, Gloria grabs her phone and heads to work at the bar with Oscar. After her shift, Gloria stays behind at the bar with some new friends to have a drink. At one point, she decides to confess to the guys about her connection to the monster. They all head to the playground together. She asks them to open a website that's streaming live footage of the monster. Waiting for it to appear on the streets of Seoul, Gloria starts dancing, and the monster mirrors her movements exactly. The guys are completely shocked and can't believe their eyes. Just then, her avatar is attacked by missiles and helicopters. While they don't cause her much harm, they still hurt. Upset that she knocked a helicopter out of the sky with her hand, Gloria starts to panic and wants to leave the playground. But the alcohol kicks in, and she loses her balance, falling to the ground. In Seoul, the monster mirrors her again and falls, crushing hundreds of houses and people beneath it. When she wakes up, Gloria sees on the news that her fall caused massive destruction in the city. Oscar returns from the store to find her crying. He tries to distract her, but she's panicked. She thinks she's killed a bunch of people because of the alcohol. Seeing her in this state, Oscar hands her a newspaper and tells her there's something else she needs to see. She turns the page and sees that, in addition to her monster, a huge robot has appeared on the streets of Seoul. Oscar believes that the robot is him. A little later, the two of them head to a cafe to discuss what's happened. They start reminiscing about their school days, how they used to walk to school at 8:05, but back then, there was no park or playground, just a giant construction site. Feeling guilty and wanting to fix things, Gloria comes up with an idea. She and Oscar go to a Korean store, and he picks up a sheet with Korean phrases. When they arrive at the playground, they sit on a bench, and Gloria shares how she was fired from her last job. Oscar opens up about his personal life, how he almost got married but quickly grew tired of life in the small town. As they talk about the past, they wait for 8:05 a.m. When the monster appears in Seoul and people scatter, Gloria carefully bends down and writes in Korean on the ground, "Sorry, it was a mistake, it won't happen again." That evening, the news talks about the monster. The people of Seoul have confirmed that it's not dangerous and seems intelligent. As Gloria serves drinks, she glances at the TV and smiles. After work, the friends gather again. One of the men is worried that the Korean who translated the phrase might have figured something out, but Oscar reassures him that he asked for a few phrases to be translated, so everything's fine. Seeing that Joel stepped away, Gloria quietly finds him in the bathroom and asks for his address. Later, she goes to his place, and they spend a romantic night together, keeping it a secret from the others. The next morning, Gloria wakes up in Joel's bed and turns on the TV. The news reports on a giant robot threatening the city streets. Realizing what's happening, she rushes to the playground. When she gets there, she sees a drunk Oscar having fun with his friend, who is controlling his actions via a live stream. Gloria jumps out of the car, demanding they stop everything immediately. Oscar sees Joel following her and his face changes. He tells her it's under control, that it's not him who's killed all those people. Furious, Gloria storms onto the playground and gestures for him to leave. The monster in Seoul materializes and mimics her gesture, but Oscar refuses, so Gloria slaps him. From the windows of a nearby building, they hear people cheering and watching the stream. Oscar finally agrees to leave, but before he goes, he demands that Gloria come in early to clean the new room at the bar. That evening, the bar buzzes with excitement over the latest news. It's clear that the monster and the robot aren't allies, and they've gained many new fans. People are flocking to the city, eager to witness the spectacle in person. In the middle of the shift, Oscar approaches Gloria and asks if she'll stay after work. Gloria gives him a disapproving look and silently walks away. After the shift, she cleans the bar while Oscar lounges on a couch, rewatching the video of their argument. It's starting to annoy her, and she asks him to stop. The tension between them rises as Oscar tries to load her with extra work and insults their friends. He then attempts to get her to drink again. Gloria refuses, not wanting to drink and look foolish. Desperate to get his way, Oscar threatens her. If she doesn't drink, he'll go to the park. But she stands her ground and, right in front of him, pours the drink out. Furious, Oscar storms out. Gloria tries to stop him, but it's no use. When Oscar arrives at the playground, he waits for Gloria. As the right moment comes, their avatars materialize in the city. They start fighting, and Gloria manages to defeat him. In a fit of anger, she throws the bar keys at him and tells him she's done working with him. But Oscar threatens again, saying she has no choice. If she doesn't cooperate, he'll return to the city and destroy everything. He takes Joel, who had been watching them, and leaves. Gloria returns home, exhausted, and falls onto her bed, remembering her childhood. Some time passes, and the doorbell rings. When Gloria opens the door, she sees Joel. He apologizes and explains that he was at Oscar's place earlier. Oscar, still concerned, asked him to bring her some furniture. Seeing the car, Gloria runs to Oscar's place. There, she finds a neglected house and demands an explanation about the furniture. Seeing her frustration, Joel apologizes and asks if they can be friends again. She agrees, but only if there are no more late-night hangouts. Back home, she finds that Joel has arranged the furniture. Just then, she gets a call from Tim. When Gloria arrives at the hotel, she meets her ex, Tim. He says he's in town for a work meeting. Gloria is shocked and doesn't believe it's a coincidence. Tim mentions that he's also puzzled by a few things, like her working as a waitress. Their conversation escalates into an argument, and he accuses her of alcoholism again. Not wanting to hear it anymore, Gloria says she needs to leave for work. Realizing he's said too much, Tim offers to give her a ride and suggests they check out the bar. Inside, they meet Oscar, who isn't thrilled to see Gloria's ex. He makes it clear in every way possible. In a fit of madness, Oscar decides to set off fireworks in the bar, which he's had for nearly 10 years. He carries the box to the middle of the room and lights it. Shocked, Tim and Gloria try to leave, but Oscar stops them. He tells Tim that he won't be able to take Gloria out of the city. No matter what, Gloria will stay with him. Realizing it's another threat, Gloria stands by her friend's side. Tim, still confused, admits he didn't come for work but for her and asks her to come back to New York with him. After he leaves, a tearful Gloria stays behind in the bar. After work, Gloria returns home to find Oscar sitting in her chair. Startled, she demands that he leave immediately, but he refuses, insisting that they need to talk. He gestures for her to sit down. Realizing he won't budge, she reluctantly complies. The moment she settles into the chair, he tells her that he won't let her leave with Tim. Upset, Gloria begins scratching her head, her mind drifting back to childhood memories that tug at her with increasing intensity. Suddenly, the memory becomes clearer. As schoolchildren, she and Oscar were walking to school together, chatting about their projects. They were holding projects in their hands, and a strong gust of wind blew her model out of her hands. The delicate model flew over the fence. Oscar immediately jumped over to retrieve it, and after a brief hesitation, Gloria followed. What she saw next shocked and angered her. Oscar had found her model on a street in Seoul, but instead of returning it, he crushed it underfoot. At that moment, 2 lightning bolts shot down from the darkening sky, striking the children's heads. 2 toys, a monster and a robot, fell out of their backpacks. Back in the present, Gloria looks at her former friend and tells him she now understands his problem. He hates himself and his miserable life. With that, she picks up the phone, calls Tim, and tells him she's coming with him. At that moment, an alarm sounds, signaling the appearance of the monsters. Oscar decides to take revenge and heads to the playground. Realizing that the lives of people are in her hands, Gloria tries to stop him, but she fails. Oscar runs away, and she chases him to the park. She enters the playground, and their avatars materialize in the city. They start fighting again, but this time, Oscar beats her. As she lies defeated, he warns her that every day without her will be like this. He then destroys part of the city right in front of her. Desperate, Gloria cries. Back at home, she reflects on how to stop this madness, and an idea comes to her. She gathers her things and heads to Seoul. Once there, she calls Tim to apologize for disappearing so suddenly. At exactly 8:05, Oscar enters the playground, and the robot appears in the city. The military is on standby, and people are running in panic. Gathering her thoughts, Gloria steps outside, preparing to destroy her former friend's avatar. He's already raised his foot to crush the houses and people when suddenly, a strange, powerful vibration stops him. Turning around, he sees Gloria's avatar standing behind him. He tries to run, but she catches his arm. He starts crying and begs her to let go. For a moment, it seems like Oscar might be remorseful, but his next insult makes it clear that he hasn't learned anything. With a strong throw, Gloria sends him and his robot flying. As soon as they are airborne, the monster disappears. The people of Seoul celebrate, rejoicing in the city's liberation from the monsters. Sitting at a bar, Joel watches the news, and suddenly notices Gloria walking behind the reporter. He smiles, overjoyed to see her. In the final scene, Gloria steps into a small bar in Seoul. The waitress, speaking broken English, tells her how happy the people are now that the robot is gone. With tears in her eyes, Gloria smiles and asks if the woman would like to hear an incredible story. The waitress eagerly agrees and offers her a drink. What do you think motivated Gloria the most in her final act? Guilt, responsibility, or the desire to break free from Oscar? Share your thoughts in the comments down below, give a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next videos.